Hello, friends. Welcome once again to my weekly rotation for the week ending the 17th of October 2021, the week in which I was born. So, yes, we will start at the beginning, and on Monday I wore this. This is Heritage by Guerlain, a vintage. Well, I say vintage, it's a 2007 bottle. And here's the little cardboard cap. Looks like a little inside of a loo roll. But yes, it's a 2007 bottle. There's not really much I can add to what's been said about this fragrance. I'll possibly do a review. But what's strange is later in the week, I actually received another bottle of this from the Parfumier of a 90s version. And I have compared them a little bit. And the 90s version is different from the 2000s version, or the late 2000s version. So that'll be interesting to do a little comparison video on. So yes, that's what I want. I rarely wear a fragrance that I've received that day as my scent of the day, but I did this day because it came early in the morning. So that's what I wore on Monday. Vintage Heritage. These older bottles are much nicer than the Listerine ones, but anyway. On Tuesday, it was wet and grey and miserable, so I wore a wet and grey fragrance. It's not necessarily a miserable fragrance, but it is wet and grey. And that's For Him, the Eau de Toilette. I get the wet concrete vibe. It doesn't smell like wet concrete per se, but you definitely get that sort of vibe from it. But it keeps it interesting with the violet leaf note. The violet leaf note, really interesting. Done by the new in-house perfumer at Dior, Francis Coeur de Jean, in 2007. It's true what they say, he does all his best work for other houses. But yes, I think the violet leaf in this keeps it very, very interesting. And it's brilliant on rainy days. So, yes, that's what I wore on Tuesday. Wednesday. Big fragrance I wore on Wednesday because I decided I need to get to know this better. And so I wore this. Gucci Pour On One. This is big incense papyrus note perfume. Apparently, if you want to smell this now, if you want to smell the original, get, oh god, what's the house called? It's called Papyrus Oud 71, but I forget what the house called. Oh dear, it's by Michel Almerac. I've got Oris Tattoo as well by the same house. I just can't remember what it's called. Anyway, this is what I wore. I wasn't impressed with this the first time I smelled it. I think Gucci Pour On 2 is better. Let's try and get this lid off. Yeah, it is nice. I was underwhelmed by it the first time I smelled it. So yeah, it's starting to grow. Like I said, I've only worn it once. I need to wear it more, but yes, that's what I wore on Wednesday. Thursday, birthday. What do you think I wore? Take a guess. That's right. I wore Balenciaga Pour Homme. Balenciaga Pour Homme, the king. The last of these type of fragrances, it feels like anyway. It was a 1991 release. Gerard Anthony, check out Gerard Anthony's other work. He was obviously a very gifted perfumer. Made some absolute classics. Azzaro Pour Homme springs to mind. There's a couple others which I can't remember. Should have done a little bit more research before I did this list, but this is absolutely spectacular. Cinnamon, patchouli, honey. It's just a beautiful fragrance. I think it's totally unisex. It is these days, especially. So I'd love to smell some of these vintage masculines on women, but they don't wear them. So yes. Anyway, that was Thursday. Great fragrance. Thank you for everyone who said happy birthday as well. It was very kind. On Friday, I decided to go for something similar but different. And that is Vintage Calvin by Calvin. Created by Calvin Klein Cosmetics. Try saying that 3 times fast. Calvin Klein Cosmetics. This is a vintage bottle, obviously. 1981 release. I'm thinking I'm going to do a I'm thinking I'm going to do a year in perfume sort of thing, like Chris did from Scentland, where he did like years, like particular years in perfume and what was released that year. 1981 was a spectacular year. I do hope this was released in 1981 because I'm not entirely sure now I've said that. But 1981 was a great year in perfume. And I think this was released in 1981. I hope it was, otherwise I'm going to look like a tit. But anyway, this is Calvin by Calvin. Next, Saturday. On for something completely different, and this is a matriarch, which I bought off a friend, called Sacre Tabac Sucre. Sweet tobacco fragrance. It's got a very biscuity vibe at the very top of it, and then that goes away very quickly. And then you're left with like a fruity tobacco, like a hookah tobacco, like bitter and sour but sweet at the same time. You know, it's got that sort of contrast. Very sweet though. Very, very different from all the other perfumes on this list. It's going to be interesting when I do my family portrait of House of Matriarch, because I've got I want at least one more perfume from the brand before I do a family portrait. I don't want to do what I've done with Mugler and do a family portrait and then buy one about a week later, a different one. So yes, this is absolutely lovely. Very different. It's like Tobacco Vanille and Ambre Nogule by Hermes. Tobacco Vanille obviously by Tom Ford. But different. It's like them, but different. And good. But again, it's a matriarch, so it's very expensive. All natural though. And last but not least, today I am wearing a rare beast. And that is Iquitos by Alain Delon. Now, I got this for free because I bought a haul from Enchanté and they had a bottle and they were going to charge us, and then they said, don't bother because the sprayer doesn't work, which is why it hasn't got a head. So I decanted it into one of these. This is a big woody floral perfume. It's got a big jasmine note. Now, I know what you're saying about jasmine. About me and jasmine as well, but I do try to challenge myself. I do try to wear things that I'm not in, like, you know, I don't just wear like the easy, simple, pleasing things all the time. I try to like move around my perfume collection as well and wear things that I haven't worn for a while. And this is something I'd never worn before, so today is the first time I'm wearing it. I keep this bottle next to my bed, so it's basically all I've been smelling for the last few days. When I've been like lying in bed and stuff like that. So yeah, very interesting. It's not a big shitty pissy jasmine perfume. It's blended absolutely beautifully. The jasmine offers like a warmth. It's more sort of warming and deep rather than being upfront and a big violent floral like note. So I will line all these up. Also, a little story about this. Apparently, Dior had the chance to take this as a perfume in the mid-80s and decided against it and took something called Fahrenheit instead. Never heard of that. I'll give you the little portrait of everything. Oh, it's not going to fit. I'll have to pull back. Let's have a look. So there we are. This week I have worn Heritage, Narciso Rodriguez for him, Gucci Pour Homme 1, Balenciaga Pour Homme, Calvin by Calvin, Sacre Tabac Sucre, and Iquitos by Alain Delon. Enjoy. Thank you very much, and I will see you later.